Ladies and gentlemen. Oh, hold up. I'm out of focus. Focus on my hand. Thank you. Okay. I just wanted to give shout out to a hint to one of the major projects I'm working on. I'm working on some humongous stuff because I'm always about ambitious shit for no reason to make my life more complicated. This signed Ben Diskin poster. Remember, like over a year ago, I made a video simping over Ben Diskin for like 2 hours straight. And now I got myself a signed poster of him and the characters that he portrays. Because I'm a furry degenerate and I'm a fucking show that shit. Oh my god, you won't even be you won't even see it. Get it? See oh, it's blurry as shit. Okay, I'm not gonna take it out of the packaging just yet because it was really expensive to get, which is why you should donate to my Ko-fi so I can buy more expensive stuff like this. Anyways, I should probably get onto the video. This was once a flourishing planet filled with beautiful landscapes and booming wildlife, but it seemed to be only a mirage as the planet you are actually looking at is now barren and filled with skeletons of a once thriving land. This is a representation of Sia's career, and in order to really understand what happened here, is to start from the very beginning.
I have to admit I'm a little bit ableist, so I'm also a nepotist, accidentally racist.
Sia Kate Isobel was born on December 18, 1975 in Adelaide, South Australia. Sia's parents were artists in their own right, which would lead to Sia taking part in it as well, like her singing at a young age. She joined a local acid jazz band called Crisp. Get it? Because it's just... Anyways, and made a couple of projects. They disbanded in 1997, in which Sia released her first project called Only C. She would continue making music and contributing to other people's music, including 07, until she signed with Dancepool and had her sophomore release under the name Healing is Difficult, an album about the tragic loss of her boyfriend Dan Pontifex. The album didn't do so well, and Sia left the label and signed with Go Beat, where she released another album called Color the Small One, which also didn't do well. She left Australia for New York and also left 07. She then released another album called Some People Have Real Problems, and she actually had an impact. It charted on the Billboard 200, and this is the first time she received songwriting opportunities for people like Christina Aguilera, and she also helped to write Burlesque, the soundtrack. She then released We Are Born, which gave her even more attention in the music industry, and this is where she starts developing the gimmick of her hiding herself after feeling very uncomfortable with the fame. Here's a quote on it.
What makes this the right decision for you to turn your back away from the camera?
Well, I don't want to be famous or recognizable. I don't want to be critiqued about the way that I look on the internet. I was at Target the other day buying a hose and nobody recognized me, and my song was on the radio. And I thought, okay, this experiment is working.
She stopped making solo records after a while and started beginning writing songs for others. Fun fact, the song Titanium was originally for Alicia Keys, but David Guetta used the demo vocals and released it without her permission. Anyways, she co-wrote for major artists like Beyonce, Rihanna, and many others. She released a song called Elastic Heart for the soundtrack of the Hunger Games sequel, and decided to release her project called 1,000 Forms of Fear, which gave birth to the biggest single to date, Chandelier. This is where she met Maddie Ziegler, but we'll go into depth about their relationship later in the video. She created music videos for these singles, with one of them being Elastic Heart, which is the first major controversy we'll be talking about in this video. Okay, I do want to bring up some of the previous things that have happened in her life that I didn't bring up in her sum up of her career. The fact that she suffers from depression and anxiety and was diagnosed with
Ehlers-Danlos
syndrome in 2019. She struggled a ton back then with her planning to overdose in 2010. She also was diagnosed with PTSD, brought up from her childhood trauma, which is linked to her being sexually abused at the age of 9. This is brought up for the sole reason of context, as as I don't want to seem like I am trying to bring sympathy to her situation and trying to justify her actions as we get into them. I just want to use this as a way to kind of explain the decisions that she makes in the future. Let's go ahead and talk about the first controversy, the Elastic Hearts music video, which did not age well regarding the abuse allegations against Shia LaBeouf. That's not how you say his name. And it's even more uncomfortable when knowing the weird context behind it, particularly with the hygiene issues on set.
Shia's hygiene had to be kept in check during filming.
It was gross because we were dirty and I had to bite his dirty hands. I was so dirty, I kept wiping myself off and I kept handing them to Shia. He's like, I don't need them. Like, yes, you do. You need them. I brought like perfume and everything. I didn't want to smell. And he was like, oh, I'm totally fine with that. I don't care. I'm like, no, he's like, then what should I bring? I'm like, a towel, a change of clothes, and a lot of baby wipes.
Also, the mother seems to really enjoy the controversy the video received because the attention she got from it.
Maddie's coach is Dance Mom star Abby Lee Miller, and she's definitely Team Sia.
It's genius, and it creates controversy. Whether it's good, whether it's bad, whether you like it, whether you don't like it, you're talking about it. And to me, that's success.
And also the video itself. The video itself was pretty uncomfortable, with there being implications put in place by the metaphor of Sia's traumatic past. I'm not going to analyze the video and the meaning I'm able to conjure from it, as it doesn't really add anything to this video, but just know that I understand what Sia was going for, but it just doesn't really work. It kind of comes off as creepy. So apparently the video is about a couple of werewolves fighting in the cage, and it's not meant to be pedophilic whatsoever, which is a hint at the meaning I got from this video, just in case you were wondering, although I will make a separate video analyzing this video if you really want me to. But basically, I think that this is bullshit. It is... There is pedophilic undertones to it, and there's a deeper message behind it that I'm not going to get into. Just know that there's a reason why this video is controversial, and it just shows it shows how far Sia will go just so she can do artistic shit. So after all the success that she received, she worked at some other side projects before working on her next project called This Is Acting, which was co-written by fucking Adele. What? This was Adele's this was supposed to be Adele's third album? I don't know how to feel about that. But I guess that kind of just shows you how big of a deal she was at this point. Cheap Thrills became the hit that it became, and then she released The Greatest with Kendrick Lamar for some reason. She released a Christmas album the next year, and then collaborated with Labrinth and Diplo for a separate group project called LSD the year after that. This may seem irrelevant to the overall picture, but it is very important to show the struggles that she went through in order to get to her success, and the stuff that she did while she was successful. I mean, you know how many projects she released before reaching her big break, which is mainly writing for other people before she really became a signature in the industry for the next few years. You know, she has multiple of platinum selling songs and records and albums at this point. She's basically at the highest point of her career since, you know, her beginnings in the late 90s. So how did she fuck it up so bad? Well, it seems to be the story of Icarus and how he burned in the sun flying too close to it. You know, Sia became too ambitious. She went to work on a project that was just such a big fuck up that it completely destroyed any credibility that she earned from the decade that she worked her ass off in. And before we even get to that, there's something I need to talk about. Someone who was always under her shadow, being used like some puppet. Okay, maybe not that, but you get the point. We're here to talk about Maddie Ziegler. Dun dun dun. Oh god, it's not focusing. Focus. Come on. Oh my god, it's not working. I hate this stupid camera. It sucks. It's not focusing. This is some bullshit. This is some racist bullshit. And I look crazy when I point the light in my face because I'm recording this at 4 a.m. No, I'm recording this at 5 a.m. in the morning. I haven't even slept yet. You can see it in my eyes. Anyways, the way she treated Maddie Ziegler throughout her career is honestly incredibly, like, one of the most creepiest things I've ever dealt with in terms of the videos that I made. And I also feel like it's very overlooked with the way that Maddie was used throughout Sia's whole career. I mean, like, think about it, whenever she became big and whatnot, She utilized her in many of her music videos and projects in general. But before we, get into that, we should probably get into the relationship itself and how it legit comes off as creepy. And maybe a little, what's the word for it? Groomy. It's a little groomy, not gonna lie. Sia said on an episode of SiriusXM's Fierce Woman in Music, I'm sorry, I don't know why I said it like that she feels a maternal connection with Maddie from the first time they met.
The day I met her, I saw she danced the dance and I cried, and I felt like when people say that they give birth to their first child and they never knew they could love someone so much, and they experienced this kind of like opening of their eyes that they never thought they could love someone so much, so profoundly. And that was what happened to me the day that, I saw her do the chandelier dance in her little black leotard.
She would bring this up a lot, and it's already questionable with feeling like that with a girl you just met. But it gets worse. The relationship got more intense as they would have weekly sleepovers at Sia's house, and apparently they would snuggle each other. Maddie's mother, Melissa Gassoni, saw nothing wrong with this, by the way. This is exactly what she said, coming from her mouth, not something that I'm saying. This is what she said in a different interview. She apparently thought it was cute, the fact that there's a 27-year age gap is so uncomfortable, and this situation somehow gets worse. For the movie that we'll get to later, Maddie was the main actress of it, and she did not want any part of this shitstorm. She knew this was going to be a disaster of a movie. And Sia mentions how she knew or could tell that she didn't want to do it. Yet, she's also overprotective of her, speaking on her behalf at the age of 18. She's just extremely controlling of all of her career decisions, declining movies for her, and just this ironic quote that I found on the article saying, please don't do this. Like, this isn't good for her career. It's not good for her long-term credibility. This is not a good co-star to be in a movie with. I think it's now time to talk about it.
That was my dream, was to just to educate and bring light to lots of things like the healthcare system and alcoholism and mental illness, and also, the caregiving and also autism. But what happened is that
this whole fiasco is literally the reason why Sia is at the position she is right now. This one major fuck up is the reason why her career is so fucked right now, and I don't see any signs of it coming back anytime soon. So let's go ahead and try to figure out what exactly went wrong here. Music, released on February 12, 2021, was about a girl named Zhu who has to take care of her half-sister named Music. Her name's Music? I thought that was just anyways, she gets the help of her friend Ebo. What the fuck are these names? It doesn't even matter. I'm not watching this movie, and neither are you. Let's get into why people are mad at this pile of shit. But before we even do that, I want to take a quick look at the critical reception and the box office to see if this was a success in either department. A 7% on Rotten Tomatoes. Well, you know what? Maybe it made money since, the budget was pretty high, or at around $16 million. So, I hope she at least made some of the money back. Oh, you know what? It's pretty close if I do say so myself. You know what? There's a 6 in the number. 645,949. You know what? The 6 in the number, that has to mean something. Something got paid off. Okay? And it's really funny when you realize this wasn't even released. Okay, this wasn't even released in the US or China. Why did she spend $16 million on this? How? Okay, so after doing a bit more research, I found out that the movie showcases autistic people to be cartoonish caricatures. Keep in mind that Maddie had to watch videos of autistic people to get a sense of how to act like one. No words. No words. This movie was so bad that an autistic woman named Nina Skov Jensen made a petition to get the movie removed from the Golden Globes. Wait. This movie was nominated for an award? Who the fuck thought that was a good idea? I'm sorry, back to Jensen. She's quoted as saying, "I didn't feel anything while I watched it, except strong discomfort from the strobe lights, colors, patterns, and the fast camera movement. I just felt empty inside. I cried the day after when it all just hit me. The way it stims, the movements are mimicked, and it's very hurtful to watch, as it is done very mechanically and by a non-autistic individual. This is the same way we have been bullied and mocked our entire lives." I mean, it's already bad enough you have this movie that is just so dangerous for people with epilepsy, but then you portray these people as something they are clearly not. I have one question for you, Sia. Who did you make this movie for?
I didn't realize that there were so many factions and subcommittees. I thought I had gone and talked to every autism community that there was, and that I had asked, how they should be referenced, how they wanted to be referenced, how that I should say this, how I should use this language and that language, and they were telling me all the ways that I was supposed to use language. And then I found out afterwards that I had basically missed out on the other 50% of subcommittees that wanted the opposite.
She got some backlash on Twitter, and she tried clapping back at people. One person complained about how the actress who played the autistic girl wasn't autistic, which isn't very inclusive of you, Sia. But then she replies with, "Maybe it's because you're a bad actor." Well, okay, first of all, you put Maddie in that role, okay? Someone who you are extremely and creepily close with. So how would any autistic actor have gotten this role if you are over here playing favorites? What's the word for it? Nepotism or whatever? Yeah, that's what this is. This gets even worse, as the people who have watched this movie have mentioned this scene, which showcases something so dangerous that I can't even show it. Basically, it's the sister trying to restrain her, but she does it in a way that would harm the autistic girl, or just it would harm someone in real life if someone tried doing this. Man, how did you even learn this, Sia? Oh, you learned this from Autism Speaks? The same people who think that autism is a disease and that needs to be cured? They also think vaccines cause autism. So why are you working with them for research, Sia? Why?
And just like, they say once you've met one person with autism, you've met one person with autism, I found out that in order to have pleased everybody, I would have had to speak to every single person with autism, because each of them want a different thing. Some people don't like to be called autistic. They like to be called a person with autism. Some people don't like to be called special needs. They like to be called special abilities. And other people don't like to be called special abilities. They like to be called disabled. And I now know so much more than I knew a month ago.
Not only are you trying to profit off of a disability, but you are working with the same people who want them gone. It's like making a documentary about eating healthy food that is sponsored by McDonald's, except the situation is so much worse on a completely whole nother level in terms of ethics and just morality in general. What the fuck is wrong with you, Sia? What were you thinking? The movie gets worse because it shows autistic people to just have the lowest intelligence with music. Sorry, that's just such a dumb fucking name for a character. Music using this device that shows these emotive functions as she's not able to communicate well. Oh my god, it somehow gets worse with the ending as she interrupts someone at a wedding to sing because it's supposed to show her character progression, but that wouldn't happen in real life, Sia. Have you ever talked to have you actually had a discussion with an autistic person before making this movie? Did you have one on set? I'm obviously you didn't, but it's not that hard to just do the bare minimum, you fucking whore.
And so I thought I had done all the research that I could have possibly done. And then I realized that I don't think you ever can do, you could never do enough research, because You literally have to speak to every single person and ask what their preference is.
You retaliate against people who give you constructive criticism because of your ego and how, you know, you gain this ego from all these artsy projects that you've worked on in the past, but you don't realize that you've never made a movie before, you know? Movies are a completely different skill set from what you've done before. I mean, you directed, wrote the screenplay for this movie, and you've also produced it, which is a lot for a group of people to do, to handle, let alone you. You know, originally this project wasn't going to be a musical, which is weirder considering what you do for a living. It's just so many things for you to be doing at once, and then you decided to take on a subject that you know nothing about. And you did not get anybody in that field to help you out except for a group that doesn't know them as much as you do. It's just so upsetting to just see someone so bright just fall off so hard from one mistake. Well, I mean, obviously there was the whole Maddie thing, and then there was the whole Elastic Hearts thing, and then there's probably some other things I didn't mention, but you get the point, you know? Do I think her career is completely over? I mean, I've been so wrong before, so I'm not gonna assume, but it's definitely gonna take her a lot to try to make a big impact in the music industry again. She most likely will never reach the same numbers she, you know, did in the past, and with how her mental health has been lately, she probably needs to work on that more than trying to force herself into an industry or on a platform that nobody wants her on. Basically, what I'm saying is she should probably not come back anytime soon. None of us want her. You know, she tried to reach for the sun, ended up getting swallowed by her own ambitions and vainness. So yeah, this was a long time coming, Sierra. I mentioned making this video a long ass time ago, and here I am doing it. I hope you enjoyed. So before I end the video, I want to give some updates regarding the channel and just me creating content in general. As you already know, I have a Twitch account which I stream. I haven't been able to stream recently because I've been busy with college and trying to adult and whatnot, and that's been taking a lot of my time. And then also I have another channel with fellow YouTuber Famp, in which we both talk about albums that happen every single week. So I've been pretty busy with that. I also have a second channel we all know about, the one for the Twitch, in which I upload stream highlights. I haven't really been active on that lately because once again I've been very busy with trying to adult and like getting my shit together. I'm going to in-person college this time. What am I saying? I'm going to college in person this time, and that requires as much like attention to that as much as I can. You know, this is mainly a hobby for me. Wait, hold up, sorry. This is mainly a hobby for me, and I obviously need to take my needs above my hobbies, you know what I mean? You know, like, that's why I'm extremely inconsistent with my YouTube uploads. Also, I don't really shout this out that much, but I have a Ko-fi you can donate to. I don't know why I never mention that anymore. But yeah, I've also been working on a couple of huge video projects. Hopefully I put it somewhere in the video, but obviously this is a major hint to one of those major video projects. Literally, I have a lot of things planned for this year. It's just that a lot of them take a shit ton of time, more than I would have realized. So it's one of those things where you just gotta be patient and eventually it'll come. Not like anyone's waiting for my videos, but you know, I'm still active on Twitter mostly. Upload weekly on the other channel, and once in a while I'll stream and upload some stream highlights to my other channel. So I'm still gonna be active, just really inconsistent with my main channel. This is mainly for the highbrow content I put like shit ton of work into, writing scripts and whatnot, which is, you know, yeah. So I kind of wanted to explain myself, you know, because it's a new year. The first video of the year, holy shit. It's almost February, or maybe it is February by the time I upload this. But yeah, I just wanted to make it clear of what's happening in my life, just in case you're curious. Okay, bye. This video is already long enough.